Optimizing for efficiency definitely turned out to be a big curse in my initial days of learning French. I would select a video on YouTube which had these 500 random sentences in French, and I would decide on listening to these sentences 20 times every day for 20 days straight, and hoping to pick up French passively. But that kind of grit never lasts long because we need feedback when we learn. Passive learning exists, but not when you are starting out. You still have to borrow from what you have studied actively to learn passively. So it's important that whatever study material you have, find a way to connect with it. Now, that doesn't mean that the text always has to be something you are interested in. Sometimes it's the tools or methods that fosters the interaction between you and the material. So if you're listening to random sentences in French while commuting, get a transcript of that audio so that whatever you have listened to all day, all morning, you can come back home and refer to the written word. Find out what those sentences actually look like. I'm telling you, that experience of even glancing over the sentences that you have been listening to all morning is so satisfying and so rewarding that you stop worrying about the context or meaning. You'll forget how boring this whole exercise of repetition actually is. You'll go back to the audio from the beginning again and again. The repetition becomes much more easier because that has to be propelled by small dopamine hits, which you get from small continuous feedbacks once you're interacting with the material. So it works if you're somebody that favors authentic learning material over something that interests you. But if you're somebody like me, for whom even those random sentences have to be meaningful, what should you do? Create your own material? Yes. Why? Because if you create your own material, your participation with the material will be even more. So instead of getting ready-made flashcards online, take time to create your own flashcards. It's going to be a bit tedious. No, it is a lot. It is very tedious. But I'm telling you, your active recall sessions will go much more faster and smoother because you've already spent time with the material by creating it yourself. So if there are monologues that you already know from the movies and plays that you have watched or read, don't hesitate to translate it online. It might not be the perfect translation, but it doesn't matter when you don't know the language that well yet. And if you like taking notes, don't worry about how much time it takes. Don't fall for the trap of passive learning. I would argue passive learning is the least efficient way in the beginning. Yes, there is a level of competence you get to where you can convert all your downtime into learning sessions. But that's a reward which requires some initial grunt work. And we should not worry about being efficient in the beginning. If picking a notebook and a pen and taking notes gives you a structure, you must do it. In fact, with everything digital these days, using a dedicated notebook just for language learning can actually turn out to be a game changer. Because long handwriting on notebooks is one universal way that will definitely allow you to interact more with the language, which should be the priority when you're starting out. So I would say keep it simple. Pick one movie in a foreign language that you want to learn on Netflix. Make notes, words, word translations, sentences, sentence translations, and go all the way. Finish your work on one movie, then revise it every day. It is work, but stick with it. I promise you, your own progress will turn out to be the catalyst that will launch you into that flow you're looking for, where learning becomes effortless.